Hey everyone, it's Ben Hardy here, and in today's going to be reviewing a Volkswagen Atlas Peak Edition. This is Volkswagen's new off-road package for the Atlas. Pretty interesting. Before we get into this review though, as always, if you want to save time and money the next time you purchase a car, link to my car buying guide in the description down below. Let's get into it. Let's take a look at this off-road Atlas. It's powered by the same engine that all Atlases are powered by, so turbocharged 2-liter 4-cylinder, 269 horsepower, 273 pound-feet of torque. And I do want to mention before we kind of dive into some of the details that you'll see here, I did film a full review on one of these. The Volkswagen dealership in Orem had one that was in a really cool green paint color. So I'm going to space things out a little bit. I won't post that video right away after this one posts, but there will be a review on this Atlas, driving impressions and all of that kind of stuff for those of you that are curious about the Peak Edition. But you guys can see it's got some pretty beefy tires. They're not the most aggressive in terms of the tread pattern, but I mean, that's decent sidewall for what is ultimately a mommy mall crawler SUV. And that's what the Atlas is. I mean, you guys can see 60 for the sidewall rating. That's some real sidewall. I think it's awesome we're finally getting more of these off-road kind of like family SUVs, because a lot of people just want the looks. They don't really necessarily care about having the most capable vehicle, right? And so it's cool that automakers are offering this, because I mean, this thing, I think the MSRP on the one that I reviewed at the, and you'll see the MSRP in this, it's like under $50,000. Still, you know, a big chunk of change, but that's, I would say, more reasonable than some of the other offers. I mean, Bronco, right? You're getting a base model car for $50,000. Same thing with Wrangler, whereas this, it's a nice fully loaded car, heated and cooled seats, you know, not real leather seats, but leather. The fake leather that I actually prefer to real leather in some cases. Depends on the manufacturer. But anyways, good storage space here in the back. They did a good job with this setup here. It's got almost as much storage space behind the third row as what you see in like Tahoe, for example. But the third row, not as spacious as in a Tahoe, so there is that. And the boxy design, I think, works really well with kind of the off-roader look that they're going for. Whenever I see Atlases, I kind of, like from a far distance, I kind of mistake them for Land Cruisers. Like it has a very similar kind of silhouette to a, the last generation Toyota Land Cruiser, which I think is interesting to say the least. Lots of differences though between them. I like the orange stitching. I thought that was another cool thing. You can see it's on the seats as well, perforated down the center. And like I said, they're not real leather, but again, I think the Volkswagen does a pretty good job with the, quote unquote fake leather. Feels, pretty high quality. Feels like it's something that's going to last, which is good. You got your own climate zone there in the rear, and you guys can see headroom there. It's good. It's a boxier SUV, so it's got good room. And ooh, those old man slippers. Those are always the coolest, right? And then here's the front door panel. Again, soft touch all over, which is nice. And I think the trim piece design they've done, like the coloration, is pretty cool looking. And then blind spot mounting with the mirrors. It's gotten the the modern safety tech that people expect in an SUV like this. And yeah, look at those seats. I mean, they kind of like a sporty appearance to them. And then the pedals, they actually did a good job with, having a nice finish on them. Got all your like light controls down below. And then the dash is soft touch, which again just gives it kind of a more premium feel. And look at this. This is Volkswagen. It's crazy to see how far Volkswagen has come over the years in terms of just, this looks like a much more premium product. I got paddle shifters down the back too, and then your regular stocks. Digital cage cluster, which it's actually pretty cool. Again, you'll see in the full review, it's got some cool animations to it. And then you got the infotainment system that has been a little bit controversial. And then you can see the shortcut buttons for that down below. And then little storage area. And then I like the engine stop start. It's got, again, kind of a premium look to it, but it's right next to the parking brake. A little bit funky. There's the gauge. You can see the Peak Edition. It's actually custom. The shaver shifter. Man, I don't know if that's a thing that's going to stay or not. Very interesting. You see the storage space on the center console. And then, like, this is something I like about this. Tons of storage space. I think, like, the Kia Telluride's kind of like that, too. So it's a good thing to have. Like, again, 3-row family SUVs, it's important to have storage like that. And then, yeah, you guys can see the window sticker here for this. It says starting MSRP, right, for a base Atlas, but this one's obviously not a base Atlas. So after all options, I think it's just under 50. Yeah, you can see right there, it's like 48,000 and some change. So Yeah, sub $50,000. I think that's pretty reasonable for the equipment and everything. But let me know what you guys think about this Peak Edition, and stay tuned for the full review on the Peak Edition finished in avocado. Well, let's talk about visibility before we set off. Here's visibility over the hood, and you can see the heads-up display, both of the mirrors throughout the rest of the rear, and I still find speakers there in the headrest. It's so funny looking. Anyways, let us set off. So I just drove a Denali Ultimate diesel yesterday. This is the 6.2 V8 long wheelbase. So it'd be interesting to see the difference with the driving experience between the two vehicles. I will say though, any Yukon Denali Ultimate is a comfortable vehicle. The seats are comfortable. They've got like solid padding. This is the thing that's interesting to me is GM's trucks have kind of like harder seats, but then their SUVs have actually pretty soft seats. Like they're comfortable. They are comfortable. Now, aside from that, I'd say that, you know, even though this is a big vehicle with the big square windows, it makes visibility solid. So visibility is not a problem whatsoever. And yeah, I like the overall feel of this. I think that it's got a pretty, like, it's got this big substantial feel. Just gotta make sure this bicycle person's not, okay. Bicyclists are unpredictable sometimes. Sometimes they act as like a pedestrian, sometimes they act as a car. It always varies, but it seems like this person's actually doing a pretty good job with doing the pedestrian thing for the most part. So, and there's a bike lane which helps out. But anyways, yeah, it's a big vehicle, but turn-in's not bad. The independent suspension front and rear helps out quite a bit. Good torque out of the V8. Now, the performance exhaust said dealer installed, and I don't know if it's been installed yet. The reason why I say that is it didn't sound too different in terms of like the exhaust note, because like I've heard the Silverados with the performance exhaust and it's like a big difference. So yeah, it's kind of just a little bit of a thought there. Yeah, ride quality is pretty good over these bumps and everything, so no complaints with that. And see how the torque is coming through here. Oh yeah, gotta love the torque from the 6.2 V8. It is really nice. And yeah, just solid. So to cap things off,